What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. Manchester United have appointed Michael Carrick as head coach. So this news broke yesterday, but I was waiting for confirmation from the United website, and here is the confirmation. United appoint Carrick as head coach. Manchester United is delighted to announce the appointment of Michael Carrick as head coach of the men's first team until the end of the 2025-26 season. Carrick played 464 games for the club, winning 5 Premier League titles, the FA Cup, 2 League Cups, the UEFA Champions League, the Europa League and the FIFA Club World Cup. He joined the first team coaching staff when he retired in 2018 and served under Jose Mourinho and Gunnar Solskjaer. Following Solskjaer's departure, Carrick led the club with distinction during his role as caretaker manager. The former England international was head coach of Middlesbrough for 2.5 years from October 2022, and Michael Carrick, the head coach, said, "Having the responsibility to lead Manchester United is an honour. I know what it takes to succeed here. My focus is now on helping the players to reach the standards that we expect at this incredible club, which we know that this group is more than capable of producing. I have worked with a number of players already and have obviously continued to watch the team closely in recent years. I have total belief in their talents, dedication and ability to be successful here. There is still a lot to fight for this season. We are ready to pull everyone together and give the fans the performances that their loyal support deserves." Jason Wilcox, director of football, said, "Michael is an excellent coach and knows exactly what it takes to win at Manchester United. He is ready to lead our talented and determined group of players for the remainder of the season as we continue to build the club towards regular and sustained success." In terms of the coaching staff, Carrick will be supported by Steve Holland, Jonathan Woodgate, Travis Binion, Johnny Evans and Craig Mawson. And also the club would like to go on record the club would like to place on record its gratitude to Darren Fletcher for his leadership during the last week. Fletcher will remain as lead coach of the under-18s, playing a vital role in developing players ready to perform in a winning Manchester United first team. So there you have it. The news has broken officially today at Tuesday, 13th of January 2026 at 19:15. But obviously the news did break from various news outlets yesterday, but I was just waiting for confirmation in terms of from the United website. Also, I've not been well today, so that's why my voice sounds a little bit weird. Yeah. So in terms of Michael Carrick being appointed, I'm all right with the appointment. Obviously, up until the end of the season, we'll see. We'll have to see how it goes. He's got 17 Premier League games that he's going to need to manage. But I think that it's a decent appointment. But you know, I said the same thing about Ruben Amorim when he got appointed. I thought that was going to be a decent appointment in terms of Michael Carrick. We'll just have to see it. We'll just have to wait and see how he does. But obviously, I'm wishing him all the best, and hopefully, you know, we can go on a little bit of a run at the end of the season, get a couple wins together, and push into the Champions League spaces. And I think that's what needs to be the aim for us this season. But in terms of the whole debacle of the sacking of Ruben Amorim, I think one thing in my opinion is clear. The Glazers, Ineos and the board have no idea what they're doing. It doesn't matter, and you know, in my opinion, it wouldn't have mattered who comes in. Personally, I don't think that we are going to get Champions League football. So in my opinion, this season is going to be another write-off season, you know, because we're not getting Champions League football. And in terms of Carrick's appointment, personally, I would have preferred if it was Ollie till the end of the season. We statistically, the eye test and statistically, we played our best football under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So and we finished third under Ole's first full season, and then his second full season we finished second as well. So we finished third, and then we finished second under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So I would have personally preferred him. But you know, hopefully Michael Carrick can come in and do well, and then we'll see in the summer with regards to whether Carrick stays on or whether the board look to appoint another permanent manager. Personally, I've got no idea. Like I said, personally, I would have preferred Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to take over. But I think what Ollie was looking for, the hope that if he does well, then that kind of leads into a permanent role. And also Oli is more of a man manager and not necessarily a head coach. And I think the model that Manchester United are going for is that they are looking to appoint a head coach rather than managers. And I think that's probably the reason why they have gone with Carrick at this time around. In terms of the sacking of Ruben Amorim, it's been reported that Manchester United didn't want to change their head coach or sack Ruben Amorim mid-season, but results and behaviours made it necessary. This is from Chris Wheeler, football writer for the Daily Mail. So and so in terms of that. I think I can understand where the board are coming from with regards to the sacking of Ruben Amorim. They probably didn't want to get rid of him, but what he said in press conferences and the kind of the falling out that he had with Jason Wilcox in that Friday meeting eventually led to him losing his role, and and his tenure and his job role was becoming untenable, and that's why they decided to get rid of Ruben Amorim. Personally, like I mentioned in my previous videos, is it the correct decision to get rid of Ruben Amorim? Because you have falling outs at work, you have disagreements with people, and you have these things whereby you have disagreements with people. And in terms of Ruben Amorim, was he doing a good job? I can see the point being made that yes, he was doing a decent job. No, he wasn't doing a decent job either. I can see both viewpoints. Personally, it remains to be seen whether sacking Ruben Amorim is going to be the correct decision. Personally, at this moment in time, with regards to how Fletcher's taken over and with regards to Michael Carrick taking over, it remains to be seen how Carrick gets on. But my first kind of inclination is that it's not necessarily going to be the right decision to sack Ruben Amorim, because I think the players were playing for him, and we had seen progression in terms of our attacking play. We were certainly performing better going forward. Defensively, yes, we are still leaking in goals in the Premier League, and it's not good going out to Grimsby in the League Cup. And of course, last season we finished 15th, and that's probably maybe why, because we kind of threw the Premier League in and we were going for the Europa League title last season. That's possibly why we had such a low finish. But in terms of Ruben Amorim, I think that my inclination still at this moment in time is that he probably should have been afforded until the end of the season, and then we probably should have got rid of him. One could argue that with finishing 15th is a sackable offence in itself. Losing to Grimsby, losing the Europa League final, there's quite a lot of things that are going against Ruben Amorim with regards to his stats. The stats don't lie, and in terms of statistically, he's got a 31% win percentage or something at Old Trafford. Let me just check what that is. So his win percentage overall was 38.1%. And of course, that's not good enough to be Manchester United manager. And, so that's why he, on top of that, the results, the falling out that he had, that's probably why he got sacked. But in terms of Michael Carrick now, we need to be looking forward. We can't be looking back. The decision's been made. So, we need to be, hopefully we do have a strong end to the last end of the season. Personally, I don't think we are. I don't think Carrick coming in is gonna change quite a lot. And like when Jose Mourinho got sacked, Oli came in. It didn't necessarily change too much. We still. I know Oli went on a little bit of a run, yes, but we still finished 6th, I think, in Oli's first season. When the season that Oli took over from Jose Mourinho. Let me just check. Yeah, so we finished 6th in the Premier League. So Jose Mourinho was manager until the 18th of December, and then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in and we finished 6th in the Premier League. So obviously, in terms of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he had Michael Carrick and Kieran McKenna are obviously helping him. So assistant manager Rui Faria left the club at the conclusion of that season, with Carrick and McKenna replacing him as the club's first team coaches. So you had Carrick and McKenna assisting Jose Mourinho, and then Jose Mourinho left on the 18th of Jan after that defeat to Liverpool, I think it was. I'm not quite sure. Let me just check. Yeah. So it was that defeat to Liverpool, that 3-1 defeat away to Liverpool, and we sacked Jose Mourinho when we were sixth in the league, and we finished sixth. So ultimately, it wasn't kind of, it didn't make too much of a difference as what I'm trying to say when Ollie came in. And a similar thing when Ollie got sacked, and then you had Michael Carrick take over. Obviously, he managed 3 games, 1 game in the Champions League, which was a 2-0 win against Villarreal, and then a win against, I think it was Chelsea, I want to say. Oh no, it was a draw to Chelsea, and then a 3-2 victory against Arsenal. So Michael Carrick is currently unbeaten as United manager. Yes, he's only managed 3 games. But I think, yeah. Hopefully we do have a strong finish to the end of the season. But in terms of previously, you had Ollie take over from Jose Mourinho, and then Ollie got sacked, and Carrick took over, managed them 3 games, which he won against Villarreal, won against Chelsea, won against Arsenal, drew against Chelsea, and then Ralph Rangnick came in, which was basically a car crash as well, which wasn't great. So Ralph Rangnick came in, and our form didn't really change, but it is slightly disappointing that we haven't necessarily gone for Ollie, because Ollie finished third in the 2019-20 season, and then in the 2020-21 season, he finished second, which was a really good finish by us. Unfortunately, we didn't quite win the league. We finished 12 points behind Manchester City, who went on to obviously won the league. But we went on the longest unbeaten run. One of the longest unbeaten runs in the Premier League, and we lost only 6 games that season under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We drew a little bit too many games when we finished second, but yeah, Ole obviously was being helped by Michael Carrick and Kieran McKenna. And then in the 2021-22 season, this was the season that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got sacked, which was unfortunate because yes, he did have a bad run of results in the Premier League. Let me just go to the matches here and see. He had a good start to the Premier League, but we had a really bad kind of 6 weeks that we had really bad, where we lost to Villa, Leicester City, Liverpool, City, and then Watford, which was the 4-1 defeat, which ended up being Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's final game in charge. And when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got sacked, I think we were 7th in the league, around 6 points or 3 points away from top 4. I think it was, we weren't miles away, is what I'm trying to say. We were 7th in the league, and unfortunately, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer lost his job. Personally, I wouldn't have had him sacked, because he had shown that we could have done well with regards to him being in charge, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has under Ole, we've played our best football post Alex Ferguson, and we've had our best results as well post Alex Ferguson, with him finishing third and then him finishing second. So a little bit unfortunate that Ole got sacked, but when Ralph Rangnick came in, not really much changed. When Ole got sacked, we were 7th in the league, and then we finished 6th in the league as well. So Ralph Rangnick didn't really make too much of a difference. And then Erik ten Hag comes in at the end of the season. He finishes third, and then he finishes 8th, and then he probably should have got sacked when he finished 8th, but Ruben Amorim then comes in mid last season, and he only lasts 14 months. So it's just this constant chopping and changing of managers. When are we going to learn that we need to give a manager time? And personally, my kind of, my heart is saying that we should have probably given Amorim a little bit more time to see how his project comes into fruition, how it ends or whatever. Because we didn't see necessarily the full kind of evolution of what Amorim what Ruben Amorim was trying to do. We've not seen the full kind of completion of his project with regards to what he was trying to do. Yes, in terms of going forward, we've definitely improved going forward this season, but defensively we've lacked. It was a little bit unforgivable finishing 15th and throwing in the Premier League and going all in on the Europa League. So that was not right in my opinion. One could argue that finishing 15th is a sackable offence, and yes, I can see that point. I can definitely see that point. I can definitely see one person arguing for Ruben Amorim to get sacked at the end of last season. Personally, if we were going to change managers, it should have been at the end of the season. I think changing managers mid-season causes too much instability, and you can clearly see that they didn't necessarily, in my opinion, looking in to the club necessarily didn't want to change managers mid-season, but I think certain results and behaviours of Ruben Amorim made it necessary for the board to change managers mid-season. And now Ruben Amorim's been sacked, of course. Darren Fletcher took over for 2 games in which he drew against Burnley 2-2. And then we obviously lost to Brighton in the FA Cup, which was a disappointing defeat. Now Michael Carrick has come in and he's basically in charge up until the end of the season. So he's got 17 league games which he's in charge of. But yeah, that's just a little bit of history with regards to Man United managers. Personally, like I said before, this constant chopping and changing of managers doesn't help us whatsoever. And personally, I think that under Ruben Amorim, we weren't going to finish in the top 4. And under Ruben Amorim, we weren't going to finish in the top 4. Without Ruben Amorim, we're not going to be finishing in the top 4. I don't think Michael Carrick is going to lead us into Champions League football, personally, because in my opinion, at this point in time, we've dropped far too many points already. So we've dropped far too many points to easy teams, which we shouldn't be dropping points to the likes of Burnley, Leeds, Wolves, Bournemouth, West Ham. Let me just pull up the little matches here that we can see so far our season. In terms of this season so far, we've kept only 2 clean sheets all season, which was against Sunderland, this 2-0 win against Sunderland at Old Trafford, and then against Newcastle, which was lucky, which we got away with a win against Newcastle, because Newcastle probably deserved at least a point in that game. But you can see how many draws we've got so far this season. We were leading against I think the 1-0, the first game of the season, we were unlucky not to be coming away with at least a point because we played well. Put a disappointing draw against Fulham, then a win against Burnley, then against City and Brentford, we were poor, so we didn't deserve anything from them games. But against Nottingham Forest and Tottenham, which we drew these 2 games, after winning 3 games on the bounce, we were leading in both games against Nottingham Forest and Tottenham, and we were unlucky not to be coming away with the 3 points against 10-man Everton, which was a really poor defeat in my opinion, because we were playing against 10 men for most of the game. We weren't able to gain 3 points in that. And then we drew against West Ham, which was a poor result as well at home. We drew to Bournemouth at home 4-0, which isn't a good result. And then we drew to Wolves at home, we drew to Leeds away, and then we drew to Burnley away as well. So, these results, these draws that we get in, they're not good enough in my opinion. And that's a reason why, in my opinion, we are not going to be getting Champions League football, even though we are under Carrick now. And I wish him all the best. Hopefully I'm proven wrong, and hopefully we can get Champions League football. But personally, in my opinion, I just don't see it happening. I think that we are, even though we are only, if we look at the league table here, we are only 3 points away from top 4. So Liverpool are in 4th, who are on 35 points. We are on 32 points in 7th place, but we are 3 points away from Everton, who are on 29 points, who are in 12th position. So, we're a couple of bad results away from the bottom half of the league. If you have a look here, we're here in 7th place, 32 points, so with 3 draws on the bounce here. So personally, I wish Michael Carrick all the best. Hopefully, he can kind of prove me wrong, and hopefully we can get Champions League football. but personally, I just don't see it happening. I think we've got too many draws. I think we've dropped too many points already this season. But yeah, hopefully Michael Carrick can prove me wrong. Hopefully we can get Champions League football, but personally, I don't think we are. And the season is basically over because we're not in any cup competitions. We're not playing. We're not in Europe. We're out of the League Cup. We're out of the FA Cup at the first hurdles. 40-game season, which isn't great. But yeah, I wish Michael Carrick all the best in terms of the remaining part of the season. Hopefully we can get Champions League football, but personally, I don't see it happening. But yeah, anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.